Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Kalia Janae, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning into the newest episode of Crown Level Confidence. I am your host, Kalia Janae, and your favorite mindset coach, by the way. And we're here at Crown Level Confidence because we are striving to lead women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their level of confidence. And I could not be more excited to bring to you our next featured guest. Her name is Lis Fowler. Lis, say hey.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yes, we're so honored and happy that you would be here to participate. So let y'all know about Lis. We connected via social media. You know, I'm all loud. I'm like, hey, do you have a story to tell? She goes, yes, I do. Sign me up. I said, great. And we've already got some like little nuanced things in common. And I'm so excited to continue to get to know her. So let me tell you about what I know about her so far. And I'm sure we'll uncover and unpack a lot more during our conversation today. So Lis Fowler is an Atlanta, Georgia transplant from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She has dual citizenship in the U.S. and Germany because she is of mixed descent. How exciting. After quitting corporate America, she became a digital nomad and moved overseas. She currently writes fiction novels based on social injustices within the Black community. Wow. Lis, thank you again for being here. I'm so incredibly excited. I can't say it enough. So tell us, how did you decide to just pack up and peace out? How do you do that and go from the corporate life to jet setting and living abroad?
Absolutely. Well, it all started in 2020, the dreadful 2020. I actually had my last son. I have three beautiful children, but my son, he was born in February, like a month before, you know, the world kind of crashed from the pandemic. So I was already like a stay-at-home mom at that point. I was on maternity leave for about 2 to 3 months, I believe. And just having that opportunity to just stay at home with my family and help, you know, everyone was at home at that point, like absolutely everyone. So there was no school to send my children to. So we had a lot of, time together to spend, and just having that experience kind of just set the platform for, I want to do this on a full-time basis. So I kind of just felt like it was time to leave corporate America and just start traveling the world, and just, putting forth the effort to be an entrepreneur and find another way so I could just spend time with my family, basically.
Wow. So you were able to well, first of all, I've got, I always say 1.5 kids right now in this episode. I'm still working on my second child. And it's no easy feat having children. You have 3, right? So you had your own huge transitions happening while the world was also transitioning, right? So you just gave birth. That's huge. And then the world shuts down. That's, I can't even imagine, right? So I'm setting all this up to say, how in your mind were you able to make that decision? And clearly, I think it's safe to assume it was best for your family, but you have already done some kind of work to be self-aware enough to even be able to take that in, because a lot of people, and myself included, have reached times where we were faced with a transition, voluntary or not, and we just weren't in that frame of mind to stand up and say, okay, well, this is how I'm going to use this opportunity to benefit my family. Can you kind of share a little bit about that, like how you were able to make that decision?
Well, I mean, obviously, it wasn't just a a singular decision. I am married, so it was a, it was a dual effort. But my husband, he's been very supportive. He's always just wanted to just travel the world, and just being with him, like I had that same mindset as well. My grandmother, she was a nomad, and she migrated to America after my mother was born, and it was just, I think it's like instinctual. It was in my blood. Like, I want to see the world. I want my children to see the world. And you can't just do that in one space, one headspace. We're in Atlanta. It's very diverse. It's very cultured, but it's just not the same. There's other opportunities out there to learn other cultures, other way of life. And I just wanted my children to have that, like, we talk about generational wealth, but we don't always look past the money aspect of it. Mm-hmm. There's more to generational wealth than just finances. It's learning, it's being humble, it's being cultured, it's being, empathetic, having emotional intelligence. I wanted my children to have all of that. So we sat down and we decided to just, we're going to sell our house. We're going to sell our cars. We're going to quit our jobs, and we're just going to travel the world and see what happens, and just have faith that everything will work out. And it's been 3 years. I am currently not in America at this very moment.
Wow.
And I'm the happiest I've ever been. My children are the healthiest they've ever been. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the opportunity to actually be able to do that.
Yeah. Wow. I just got chills, y'all. It's something that my husband and I talk about all the time, planning for the future and living for now. And that it comes with a lot of pressure sometimes when you're a high achiever, or you feel like you want to be of excellence, right? These are like buzzwords, right? Especially, I would say millennials and beyond. We're like, yes, we're strivers. And you have to take a moment and to take an inventory to say, okay, well, what does that look like? How do we prioritize accordingly, right? So I love how you gave us that breakdown of what generational wealth looked like for you and for your family, because a lot of people are missing that scope, right? They'll work themselves into an early grave to accumulate money, right?
Absolutely.
Or maybe even property, or things, right? But then their children will grow up and say, yeah, I have this, but no connection or no memories, or the ones they have, or, maybe not the ones the parents thought they were giving, because they said, well, I gave you all the things and you have a trust. Okay, well, I don't have a bond, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of different things to think about there. So okay, you had your corporate job doing XYZ in corporate America, but how did you decide to pivot into being an author, let alone one to tackle social injustice in the Black community? Like, that's a real niche. That sounds specific. It sounds personal. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but can you kind of like walk us through that?
Oh, that's a heavy question. Well, I mean, even as a child, I always had the passion to write. I started reading when I was like 4 years old. And I'm not talking about, Cat in the Hat and Jack and Jill fell down the hill. Like, I was in chapter books. And by the time I was 6, I'm reading books like, Clan of the Cave Bear and Pride and Prejudice. And reading takes you to just a whole nother world.
Yeah.
And I wanted to build those worlds myself. So when I was a teenager, I got into journalism, got into a couple of programs that were like college-based. I won a journalism award while I was doing that, and I was the editor of the school newspaper. I always loved to write. Like, that was just ingrained into my fabric, my DNA. Mm-hmm. But, life takes a different turn, and you have bills to pay, you have mouths to feed. So sometimes those things get set to the back burner. And I, got into my corporate career. I'm making almost 6 figures, me and my husband together doing that. But just not feeling whole, not feeling complete in my purpose. So I really just wanted to get back to what it was that I loved and portray that to the world, and, build those worlds for other people like myself who like to just be transported into another world. And what better way to do that than to focus on your own community? We, as Black people, we take for granted sometimes the information and the knowledge, the wealth that's in books, because we're busy, we have things to do. But just reading someone else's perspective, just looking at another way of living, another way of thinking, can impact you in so many different levels. And it goes back to that generational wealth. Like, you can portray that to your children and build that and encourage that within them. So, our community rises, it gets better with each generation that passes. And that's my goal. That's all that I, desire to do.
Oh, that's my little goal. No, stop it. That's huge. That's huge. And I'm here to help you shout it from the mountaintops. So that's amazing. And what I'm hearing, again, I'm the resident mindset coach here. So what I'm hearing is you already have this awareness of what you loved and what you liked about yourself, about reading and writing. A lot of people, again, a lot of women, we're so busy figuring out what everyone else wants and likes and loves so we can serve them, so we can fill the void, so we can stand in the gap and do all the things that I've been there. We tend to not just put our own things on the back burner, but some people don't even have something on the back burner because they haven't even taken the time to know what they like to do. Right. And I know plenty of women in my family, generations above, started working at like 14 or started, doing household things. And so maybe they didn't get a chance to explore what they love, because it's hard to fall back on something that you don't even know is there. That's extra scary, right? Right. To take the time to figure it out. So do you have any, and this is me putting you on the spot here, y'all, we have not rehearsed this, as you know. So do you have any advice for the woman who is like, wow, that sounds amazing, but I don't even know what I would want to do because I'm not even sure what it is I love. I don't even know what I could fall back on. What do you have something that could encourage her to step outside her comfort zone to figure it out?
Absolutely. I mean, I guess I would just suggest, like, just to start somewhere. Start small. Try things. If you don't have a hobby, or if you don't have like a admirable love for something, because I mean, like, we're multifaceted. We're like Jills of all trades and a master of none. So, as a mother and a wife and a worker, but you have to set time to yourself to learn about yourself, like to really learn and truly know yourself. And you can just start small, like start with, for me, start with a book, or for you, it might be crafting, or it could be, reviewing movies, or it could be anything, but just try different things. Take the time to, I want to say, take the L's, the losses, invest in something. And if it doesn't work out, so be it. Move on to something else. But you have to find something that you care about and that you desire, so you can show your children and the rest of the world that, you do have purpose in the things that you prefer to do and that you want to portray to them, because they need to see that. They need to see that mommy is, or wife is, whole in her role and her purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important.
Absolutely. Yeah. She said, just get up and start something, if you're listening to this show, then it's likely that maybe you could listen to an audiobook about something you've never heard before. If you're like, I don't have the privilege to sit down and read. Okay, well, if you're on your way to work, turn the radio off.
Absolutely.
And, listen to something else that you haven't heard before. You may not agree. You may decide you didn't like it or it doesn't interest you, but you won't know for certain if you don't give it a chance. Right, Liz?
Right.
So, okay. Now, y'all, Liz, her niche, right? She writes speculative literature. Okay, so for those who don't know what speculative literature is, can you kind of tell us briefly what that is compared to, other types of literature, and how and what you like about that particular genre?
Sure. So speculative literature is basically like fantasies and murder mysteries and things of that nature. But my books and my writings really focus on like allegories, I want to say. And if you don't know what an allegory is, it's basically like a hidden message within the pages. It's a feel-good story, but it also has a point, a purpose in between the words. So I really just want to like, put my thoughts on what we go through as a society within it, but not so in your face and blatant, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. And I think that's important because a lot of people, for whatever reason, especially now, don't want to be told what to think or told how to feel. I'm not a sheep. Okay. Well, you got to learn somehow. So I think that's very creative and even wise, on your part to take that approach and kind of leave it up to interpretation, like allow people to fill in the gaps and get them thinking, like, what am I supposed to get out of this? How did this make me feel? To reflect. Right. I think that it helps helps the message resonate with them more. Because now it's not just like, okay, I read it, it's in and out, like in one ear and out the other, that's a thing, I'm done. But they're constantly like, well, what else did I miss? Let me reread this. Because that's what happens to me when I read those kinds of books. I love to read. I'm a word nerd. So reading, writing, speaking, all the things.
All the things.
All the things. So, I have several books that I have reread or revisited or listened to, over and over. And I get something different out of it every single time. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Your latest book, tell us a little bit more about it. And I don't want to like give you a limit, but if you could describe it in 10 words or less, how would you describe it?
Okay. Well, actually, my latest book is coming out next week. It's the second book in a trilogy called The Chosen. The first book was called Sanctuary, and the second book is called Snatched. And it follows a 16-year-old young girl. It's like a coming-of-age book. It's like the premise behind it is, what would the world look like, and how would you handle it if being a minority and you had faith, being a minority in faith, if that was illegal? Yes. So I hope that was 10 words or less.
Wow. If it was illegal. There have been plenty of things that have been kept from us from a legal standpoint in this country as people of color. And ironically enough, exercising our faith has not really been one of them. So that's hard to imagine. So I'm so glad that you're writing this, that this book is coming out. So if you're listening to this episode right now, then the book is already out. So don't wait, don't hold your breath. Go look for it right now. Just want to put that out there, y'all. But that is a perspective and a premise that I have never heard of before. So I'm looking forward to getting it and first of all, catching up, right? Because you said it's the second one, so I got to get the first one.
Yes.
But where do you normally publish? How can we get our hands on these books?
Well, they are available currently on Amazon and Barnes & Noble online. And wherever, major bookstores or, whatever your fancy is, it's on all platforms. So definitely go get that. And hopefully it's something to just, jog your mind as far as like the privilege of being of our community and actually having like a choice of what you believe. Because, what would happen if it was illegal? Like how would that look? So this is a dystopia type book. It's set in the future, but not so far in the future where it's like, 30,000. It's only like, a few years from now. But like, what if that was a possibility? And even my debut novel is called Survival House. And it was about I won't tell you what it was about, but it's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit. But the social aspect of it, I pulled from a family friend that me and my husband know, who's in prison currently for murder. But all the evidence supported that it wasn't him. So just giving you some premise about the book. It's not the same exact thing, but that's the inspiration behind, what it was written about, because that does happen in our community more than it should. Absolutely more than it should.
Yeah. And of course, this is the audio only podcast, but I have the distinct privilege of having a video conversation with Mrs. International. No, I'm kidding, Lis Fowler. She said she made it very clear she is not in the States, y'all. And I love it. I'm so here for it. I can't wait for my next trip. But all of that to say, y'all can't see how beautiful and what a sweet spirit that she has just in how she carries herself.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. It's just amazing. I can get a sense of your passion and your connection to what it is that you're doing. And it is very moving. It's very touching. It makes me want to get my hands on your book even more, because I can tell you took the time to articulate your thoughts and your feelings and your vision for our community into these books. And so I'm highly looking forward to, like I said, experiencing that on my own. But so we are, gosh, it goes by so fast every time. We're approaching the final word. Okay, so listeners, y'all know that, we're wrapping things up here. I know everyone's getting ready to park your car, or you've just got more things to do in your day, and we're wrapping this up pretty quickly. So Liz, the final word, what do you want to leave our listeners with? What is the main message that you want to make sure they grab onto and they remember from your lips to their ears?
Absolutely. So I guess my final word would be, again, take the L's in life. Take them as lessons. Take your losses as lessons, and take them humbly, so you can learn yourself, and you can lead your own self and your children to that generational wealth that we spoke of. Because life is more than just money.
It's more than just money, y'all. You heard it here on Crown Level Confidence Podcast featuring Lis Fowler. I know if we were in a studio, y'all would be boo-hooing, clapping and cheering, jumping up and down. So we're gonna feel that love virtually. But Liz, I can't thank you enough. Cannot
thank you.
Sharing your time.
Thank you for having me.
The time zone you're in right now, it has to be drastically different. We're not even in the same country, but the point is that you cared enough to help spread this message, to help uplift other women worldwide, and I'm truly grateful for your willingness. So, y'all, this has been the latest episode of Crown Level Confidence, and stay tuned for some announcements coming up here, and we'll hear you on the next episode. Oh, y'all, I know you want to keep in touch with Liz, so if this is your first episode and you don't know, just scroll down in the podcast description. You'll see all her links to her socials and her website, so you don't have to wonder, oh my gosh, she's so amazing, how do I connect with her? I already have it there for you, so don't worry. And if you're in our Crown Level Confidence Between the Episodes Facebook group, reach out to her, leave her a message. But listen, we are professional women. We're not about mess. Don't spam her. Don't waste her time. Okay? Leave her an encouraging word. And she'll get back to you when she gets back to you. All right? I love y'all, and I'm so grateful that you love me, and you have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@kaliajanae.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, kaliajanae.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Kalia Janae, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.